Hello again, Jason here. I have a problem. I'm not a funny internet clown. I can't dance, I'm not particularly interesting or pretty, and I don't have the short attention span mindset because I don't watch short form videos. Based on this, I've long been convinced that someone like me can't get any results from posting Reels, Shorts, or TikToks. I decided to test that assumption on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The first-person dungeon crawler RPG I released last year, Navigating the Labyrinth, has 15 zones and each one has its own theme song. Rather than do anything to adapt myself to the style of any of the content platforms, I decided to run this experiment using content that I already had. I decided to record clips of walking around in each zone and combine them with the theme music and post one short per day for 15 days. 2 of those zones have subdivisions that look like different zones, so I was really able to get 17 different videos out of the content. If I wanted to do day and night variations of each zone plus some weather changes in different locations, I could probably get up to 30 or so, but I think 17 days was enough for the experiment. I didn't script the videos, I just loaded up a zone and walked around about as much as seemed right. Each clip ranged anywhere from 19 seconds to 54 seconds, with most being around 30. None of them have any text, it's just video and music. Some of them have kind of a liminal spaces vibe. I posted these videos daily between 2 p.m. and 9 a.m. The very first video was at 2 p.m., and for the most part they gradually moved earlier in the day, with videos in the first week being about 23.5 hours apart, and then mostly hovering around 10 a.m. As it became habit, I just started my day by recording and posting a video. I varied the tags in the videos a bit, tagging each with 3 from a pool of about 15 tags related to the game, like RPG, DRPG, Dungeon Crawler, Turn-Based RPG, and the like. As far as I can tell, no one tag appeared to do obviously better than any other. I imagine it's generally useful to have a range of related tags associated with your channel so you get categorized accurately, but I don't know the inner workings, so that's just me thinking like a data scientist. I did not batch my content or create more than one video in a day during this, although it would have been more efficient to do so. I think I've gotten some great data from this experiment because I posted the exact same content to 4 different platforms. So let's compare them. First, there's TikTok. I did this on an almost new account. I posted one experimental video from Toward the Ice, my current project, on March 5th, about 9 days before starting the experiment, and it had 174 views. I had no followers. Through the course of this experiment, I gained 3 followers and 99 likes. Each post had between 107 and 573 views, and they gradually ticked up over time. As far as I can tell, TikTok primarily shows your posts in your local region and only shows them more widely if they become popular. I was posting from Uruguay, and the 2 comments I received were in Spanish, even though the title and tags were in English, so that seems to be confirmed. I'm not sure whether anyone invested the game further beyond TikTok. You can't have a live link in your bio until you have 1,000 followers, and I made it up to 3. So maybe? In any case, maybe I'll start posting titles in Spanish for future TikToks. I think Facebook gets annoyed if you post more often than once every 24 hours. The videos I posted on days 3 and 4, about 23.5 hours after the previous one, just kind of sat with 0 views for a while. My worst reel had 11 views and the best had 392, but most had between 130 and 230 views. This was the easiest platform to track. In the video descriptions, I posted links to the Steam page with UTM tags so I could tell when people clicked. The Steam Analytics page shows 39 visits from Facebook. However, it doesn't show any wish lists or purchases from that. These videos definitely drove people to visit the Steam page with about 1 visitor for every 200 views. It's not a huge return on time invested, but it's at least something. My Facebook page had 21 followers before this experiment and did not gain a single follower. Before this experiment, I was convinced that Facebook was pretty much a dead platform except for one dedicated follower who really enjoys my games. Now I'm convinced that if you're creating short-form videos, it's worth posting them to Facebook as part of your routine, since it doesn't take much additional time or effort. Before this experiment, I was convinced that Instagram is a totally useless platform with nothing of value to offer, and that it's twice as useless for video game creators. I ran this experiment on an account that was a couple years old, with 9 followers and about a dozen posts. View counts were fairly similar to Facebook, but a little lower on average, ranging from 105 to 336, with most being between 100 and 170 views. These views happened a lot faster, and most posts had received all of their views within a couple hours of posting. I was not able to track any clicks from Instagram. Maybe people visited the site under all other clicks data, then maybe they saw the name of the game and searched for it on Steam, but I have no way to tell. Overall, my opinion of Instagram is unchanged, and I probably won't continue posting to it. Two things make the site more annoying to post to. The first is that I have to upload from my phone, and I don't like using my phone for anything, and I have to export videos in MP4 format instead of MOV because the audio gets dropped if I upload in MOV. MOV is the default DaVinci export format, so if I forget to change that, it's a couple minutes more work to go back and re-export as MP4. I can probably change that default in the settings, but I haven't looked into it yet. I had heard that you can mess up your YouTube channel if you post shorts. You can build the wrong audience for your long-form content, and then your long-form content doesn't do as well. I don't know whether that's true, but I didn't want to risk it, so I created a separate drag-and-dropper shorts channel to post from. That also made it a cleaner experiment since the drag-and-dropper channel already had 4,000 or so subscribers. YouTube seemed to have the same issue as Facebook at times, as if they didn't like seeing a new video in less than 24 hours since the previous one. New posts set at 0 views for a few hours before being shown. That could also just be a processing delay to get it propagated in their system. It's just weird seeing a video have 0 views 6 hours later, and then suddenly get 1,000. Much like TikTok, I had one video clip from Toward the Ice posted before starting this experiment. It had 54 views and 0 subscribers. Posts on YouTube range from 91 views all the way up to 2,000. For the most part, either a video stalled out at a few hundred, or it quickly shot up to around 1,900. That seemed to be split roughly half and half. Overall, the shorts had the most views of the 4 platforms, with 21,300 total views, 11 subscribers gained, and about 150 likes. I wasn't able to track visits gained from shorts because the links in the description were not made live. I'm not sure whether that's something that just doesn't happen, unlike long-form video, or whether it's something you only get access to after a certain number of subscribers. Leave a comment if you know more about how that works. In any case, I think YouTube is definitely worth it, especially if you can make content more interesting than I did. Not only can you get a lot of eyes on your game, there's also the potential for monetization. However, according to the Earn page, I only have 4.7 thousand valid public shorts views, and we need to post 250 times as much content to reach the requirements. Since I needed half a month to get here, and those 10 million views needed to happen over a 3-month period, I could only post 6 times as much content over that time period. So from here, YouTube monetization doesn't look very attainable, just a carrot dangling off in the distance. This should be thought as the absolute baseline experiment, and obviously you could get better results by adapting your content to the world of short-form videos. But it was interesting to learn what results can come from a show-up-with-what-you-have approach. I'm glad I ran this experiment, and with a time investment of about 30 to 40 minutes each day to create and upload a new video, it cost about 10 hours of time total. It's hard to get solid data about the actual results for lack of tracking. This test overlapped the Steam Spring sale during the first part of it, but I estimate that I probably got an extra $40 to $60 in sales and a few wish lists out of it. Let's just be generous and say that I made $3 per hour after Steam fees. That's not great, but it's also not the worst that's ever come out of a learning experiment. Or, if you value it based on CPM, for 30,000 views, well, I've had websites that ran Google ads and earned about a $2 CPM, so this experiment was worth $60 in advertising, or $6 per hour. I think I'm going to continue running this experiment with my first 2 RPGs, Into the Inferno, which has fewer zones and songs, and Crossing the Sands, which has a lot more zones and songs, and also with Toward the Ice as I finish it. But I definitely have enough content to keep me going with 2 or 3 weekly posts through April. I'm not sure what I'll do once I run out of easy posts. Maybe I'll just stop. Maybe I'll figure out some additional type of thing to post. Maybe I'll end up building a game that's more appealing in short form. However, I do see the value in investing time and energy in making good, appealing content to promote a game to short form viewers. With practice and skill, I'm sure it could be worth more than $3 to $5 per hour of work. Over time, I think I might just settle into a routine of something like 1 post per week, which wouldn't be too overwhelming while I'm working on a game. Any more than that, and I could be distracting from development, but I also know that there are only so many hours in a day that I can focus on just one particular project. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.